Hi, my name is Holly, and welcome to the Average Glow podcast. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited you are here. This podcast is going to be for the everyday woman who is looking to rediscover her light after life's messy chapters. We're talking divorce, single motherhood, co-parenting, overcoming daddy issues. I mean, you name it. I am here to help turn survival into a full-on glow up. We will be having honest conversations, and I'll be giving mindset and manifestation tools, self-care tips, and overall just inspiration to help you rise and shine and strive to be the best version of yourself. I want to turn your average life, or what you would consider an average life, into the biggest glow up ever, and I want you to go along the journey because I'm doing the same thing. I am average, and I want to glow up. So I don't have all the answers for you yet. I am on my way, but please come along the journey with me. I'm here to help you as I do the exact same thing. So the reason this is called Average Glow is because I come from a very average, normal background. I do not work in this industry. I do not have family and friends in this industry. I, have had an average life. Nothing really to write home about, I'll be honest, but I've just really decided it is time to make a change in my life, and I've been working on self-improvement and kind of rewriting my self-concept. I have just really taken it upon myself these last few months to kind of like question why. What are my goals? What do I want to do with my life? What, can I do? And what brought me to this idea, honestly, is a little background is in 2024, I had a really tough time. I went through some challenges that really knocked me to my knees and really made me think like, oh my gosh, I just got everything essentially taken away from me and I need to rebuild. But I kind of immediately saw it as like an opportunity to bloom and blossom and turn into this new person. And for those believers out there, I mean, I believe in God. I think just believing in a higher power in general, I believed I was like, wow, I'm about to launch into the most magical, magnificent version of my life. And it still, even then, took me about a year and a half to recover and be like, okay, wait, I'm still stagnant. I thought I was going to get this amazing life. I'm just waiting for God to hand it to me. And then I was like, well, wait, I guess I probably have to work towards that. And so I started working on it. And the way I did that was I started listening to some really like important self-help podcasts. And that's why this feels like such a fit, because I want to tell everybody, kind of what I did and help guide you as well through your journey. And it's really been a couple months. I've just wanted to up level my life. That's my goal. I want to get better and better and better. And I'm still going, and so I'm so average right now, and I would love in 3 years if viewers tune into my first episode and they're like, this girl's average. No way, she's this top celebrity, or, rubbing elbows with the highest up people. Not that those are necessarily my goals, but like I would love to expand so much that people can't even recognize this version of me right now. And even this version of me right now is 4 months or so better than how I started. And so I want to take you from where I started, where I've been, and now where I'm going, and take you along on the journey and help you do the exact same thing. So what really motivated me to start this podcast is I was working on myself and each day kind of figuring out like, oh, how could I become that girl, like that girl that I want to be, and it started with pretty easy things, clothing, makeup routines, just changing small little ideas in my head of pretending to be that girl so that I could eventually become that girl. And it kind of occurred to me, like one thing really holding me back from being that girl that I wanted to be was my finances. I mean, I was married, so I went from having 2 incomes in the same household to now only one. And I felt the pressure of that a lot. And it kind of made me think like, what could I do on top of my corporate job that I love, but I can't like hustle more to make more there? What could I do to make extra income? I just realized I was like, wait, I kind of need to start praying about it. I pray about, everything else every day. And so I was like, God, career is right for me? Where is my passion? I didn't grow up always wanting to be something. I didn't want to be a nurse. I didn't want to be an astronaut. I didn't want to be a teacher. It was just like, I don't really know. And I went to college and I got a degree in exercise and wellness. So I know the fitness side. I did that for a few years and was just like, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't pay very well, honestly. And, that's kind of like a phase in your life of wanting to be so into fitness. And so I did get into real estate. That's kind of my latest venture. But what basically kind of drew me, I started praying, and the idea literally popped into my head. I don't know if for my spiritual people out there, I don't know if this has happened to you where it's not necessarily God speaking to you. You don't hear a voice, but it's like an original thought you've just never had your entire life. Where you're like, "Whoa, that thought came out of my head." And you're like, "Wait, what?" And it had to be from God. I was literally praying in that moment and that thought came in of like, "You should start a podcast." I consume podcast content, honestly, 8 hours a day while I'm at my corporate job. I listen while I'm working and typing. And so I love podcasts. I respect podcasts. And I'm not really, honestly, an attention seeker. I don't have a huge following on social media. Actually, I have a private page. I don't really care to post. So this idea does intimidate me a little bit. And the fact that eyes will be kind of on me, I'm not really used to that or desiring that. But my story and what I've gone through in my adulthood and my childhood has really just kind of brought me all kinetically to this point where it's time to share my story because so many people will relate. It's not that I went through tragic loss, but I've gone through a divorce. I had, daddy issues for majority of my life. I have a child, and so I'm a single mom now to, the most beautiful little daughter ever. I love her, but these are challenges we kind of all face, but these are beautiful openings to the wondrous world that is out there. I mean, now I am not tied down to a man who I was married to who, spoke down to me. I can be the best version of myself in any capacity I want. And the brightest thing is, of course, I got my daughter out of the scenario. And now I am so tightly bonded with her because it's just me and her when we are together. It is just me and her. There is no other sources. There's nobody else we're talking to, obviously, unless we go out and see friends or family. But we are mostly always together, just the two of us. It's just me putting her down for bed every single night and getting her ready in the mornings. And it's become such a beautiful bond. She is just my light, and she's why I want to do this too. I want to support her. I want to give her the life of her dreams. I don't want her to get to my age and be like, well, what do I want to do with my life? I want her to have the biggest dream, like a Taylor Swift version dream when she's 7, and me be like, okay, babe, let's go. Let's just get on over to Nashville. So yeah, so that's why I'm here. And it's beautiful because there's a lot of fear that comes with starting a podcast, the industry's saturated. I know nobody. I have no resources. That could be some things that would bring me down. But knowing this is kind of God's vision for my life and kind of getting me to this point, it's like I cannot fail. And so I just really thank you for tuning in and wanting to listen to this and hopefully continuing to click each week as I get back on and share more of my story in order to serve you. I'm here for you and want to build you. And I think we can kind of build an empire, honestly, an Average Glow empire. And so what you can expect from the podcast is every week, I want to give tips on how to uplevel your life, how to glow, how to overcome challenges, how to build on what you've been given. And in addition to all of that, I really want to end each episode with a fun Average Glow tip of the week. What that tip will look like is something either like fully free or very low budget, something that's just honestly small enough and minute that if you implement just that one thing that week and start kind of growing and building the habit off of it, eventually after, how many weeks you implement all of these things, it comes together and it just becomes this humongous impact. One little tip is really all it takes to just see a huge change in your life. And when you really commit to it, it's going to go a very long way. And so today's Average Glow tip of the week, and this is how I started with my new journey of upleveling is I picked a podcast, obviously pick me. But no, I picked a podcast on self-improvement and I took notes, like avid notes, as if I was in class again, which I'm not a huge, like, love to be a student. But I took notes, and writing down notes, or I typed them in my phone, but writing is better. But writing down notes helps you really solidify it in your brain to remember it. Plus, you can refer back to it instead of having to like remember what episode did I hear this and kind of it letting it flow. You have written proof of what it is that you wanting to implement. And it wasn't that I was taking notes on like everything I was hearing, but just different ideas that would spark. And, I did like to take notes on kind of new verbiage and vocabulary about spirituality and manifesting and upleveling and things I hadn't really ever thought of before. That's really helpful because you can kind of reread it. But I was also listening to affirmations and writing these affirmations down and then practicing them. I just was never an affirmation person before, but now I'm a huge advocate. So, I was hearing her say the affirmations and then I wrote them down and then I started reading them and then I started kind of memorizing them and then doing my own. And so that was really important to me. I'm definitely going to get into affirmations on a future episode. So what I did was I had made 2 different notes in my phone. The first note was just called journal, or actually, what did I call my journal? I guess I called it like up-level journal, or whatever kind of is exciting to you, like a very like invigorating word of like best version of myself journal, or I'm amazing journal, whatever. And then add some emojis, add some flair to it, make it kind of cute. And then pin it to the top of your notes app so that when you pull up your notes, you see it there first and you can easily go to it. So I was taking notes while I was listening to a podcast. And then the second note in my notes app, which I also pinned to the top, was called Mini Ways to Elevate. And I had like, not really an elevator emoji, but just maybe it is. I don't know. It has like a little arrow up. And this was also a really important note for me to take. I would just write down little things of just pure joy or happiness that sparked that day. Down like from decided to try a new coffee drink, loved it, or didn't love it, but it kind of knocked me out of a routine that I've been in forever, right? It's something new. It was a new idea, a new thought. And then, a random idea would pop in your head, similar to like God giving me this massive idea of starting a podcast. And you write it down immediately. You don't want to forget. Sometimes it's kind of like how people will come up with something in the middle of the night and they're like, oh, I got to write that down. Because you will not remember. If you go back to sleep and think about it in the morning, you're like, what was that brilliant idea I had? So it's important to write it down. And the other benefit of this is that it really helps you go back on days where you're not feeling good. When you're feeling down, you're in a rut, maybe you just went through a breakup, you're depressed. You can go back and be like, what are some little things I tried that could get me out of it? I mean, took a bath, did a face mask, and then went into my robe. Like things like that. It's just, it seems so little, but it goes such a long way. And when you write it all down, you kind of can see it. I mean, right now mine is months of every single day, just 2 to 3 things. Sometimes I turn it into a big journal post of like, this is how I'm feeling today. I feel amazing. Like, let's go. This was what inspired me to feel this way. I feel great, and go into it. Or it's like hey, remember to call your mom. Simple. Or you called your mom, something like that. And then I can go back and I have scrolled, pages and pages and pages of ideas, personal ideas to me of what makes me happy, makes me the happiest. And so if I'm in a rut, I can scroll down and I'm like, oh yeah, like me and my daughter, we got dressed up and we went to dinner. That was really fun. And that just was so exciting, And so now I think I'll do that again tonight. That'll feel great. And it's just so important that we celebrate these small wins because it's what gets us through when we're in tough times. But honestly, it also helps us up level because now I'm maybe going to make it a weekly thing to take my daughter out. It helps her. It helps me. It bonds us. And now I'm this elevated version of myself. Do you understand? So it's really helpful. That's my tip of the week. I hope you can start implementing it. You maybe have to be kind of an organized person to like your notes app. If you've never used your notes app, this is a major tip of the week, but it just helps you stay organized, helps you stay kind of vibrant and on top of things, and helps kind of build your aura. And so I hope it helps. So thank you so much. This is the end of the episode. I can't believe it, but thank you so much for listening. And please please subscribe. You know all of the details here. Please comment. I would love to hear your feedback. Of course, this is episode number 1. Please take it easy on me. But I hope you come back, and there is no limit to what this podcast can become. And so I just really appreciate you for being here and listening, and I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Thank you.